everyone. A very good day to all, and thanks for joining in. First of all, this is Noor Afrin, your host for today, and I'm very happy to see you all here and really hoping that we would be able to make the best use of your time today to extract all the certainly positive and possible opportunities for your business with Google Cloud. As we all know, that today our speakers will be covering the topic that why enterprise businesses is choosing Google Cloud in 2022. So I'm really hoping forward and looking forward that this webinar will help you all with your agendas. So let me just give you a quick intro that our today's webinar is going to be divided into two main segments basically. That is, one is the discussion portion and the other one would be the quiz segment. So on the discussion part, our honorable two speakers will be sharing their experiences, their insights, and followed by you guys all are open to share and ask your questions to our speakers about anything related to cloud business or your market stance. And then finally, we will be moving towards our quiz segment, where each of you can take part and answer a few of the questions based on cloud platform mostly. And then finally, three of our lucky contestants will get exciting gifts. Now, just let me take the lead to introduce you all with our speakers. So we have with us Farzana Afrin Tisha, the head of cloud business of Brainstation 23 Limited. She has been helping customers to move towards digital transformation through technology services and solutions. She is a software product and service sales and partnership strategy professional. She has the experience of working in different various aspects of business verticals like business development, marketing, sales in IT industry both locally and globally. And she has also been helping the companies with various areas like startup fundraising, technology business advertising, advising, and with her non-profit ventures she has been helping a lot of entrepreneurs and startups as well. We have Divya Jain with us. She is the head of corporate business Google India. Devya comes with an entrepreneurial and sales experience of 20 plus years. Yes, 20 plus years. She started her own company as well in 2000. So her company focuses basically in implementing turnkey IT solution projects and different verticals like banking and manufacturing. So she has also been working as a director of Microsoft's and other MNCs like Citrix, Akamai. So in Google, she is responsible for driving the strategy and business development for SARS region, basically. She is also obsessed about driving the customer success, and she is particularly committed to the partnership of Google for Bangladeshi customers. So yeah, now I'll just invite Farzana Afrin Tisha Apu to take the floor and to take the lead and share her insights and everything she has to, share with you all guys about today's webinar. So yeah, Farzana Afrin Tisha Apu, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ila, for introducing me in such a nice manner. Let me then quickly show my screen and start out today's main topic. So today's webinar is all about why enterprises choosing Google Cloud in 2022. And today I would be talking about what are the cloud adaptation going on in Bangladesh and among different industries. So I have been working with different industries with cloud technology for since 2017, I can say. So I have seen fintech have been adopting so many solutions for different automation purposes, not only for their banking system. Sometimes they're using it for their different small solutions for for bulk email sending and stuff like that. So mobile wallets are using a lot of cloud solutions nowadays. I have seen software companies using different kind of application building with Google Cloud. Since Google Cloud is so much developer friendly platform, I've seen real estate doing their applications on Google Cloud. There's different kind of marketplace building around Google Cloud. I've seen telco, pharma, healthcare, retail, automotive industry, commerce, education, nonprofit startups, and service platforms building with Google Cloud in Bangladesh and all over the globe. So, with that, I would like to also talk about today why enterprises are adopting Google Cloud specifically. I know many Bangladeshi leading companies are choosing Google Cloud to help them innovate faster, making smart decisions, and collaborate from anywhere. So Google's unique selling point is that they are solving for innovation. So whenever Google is saying they're solving for innovation, they actually mean that they are helping the companies to sort of whichever companies are seeing massive amount of changes in past few months, they are trying to incorporate those changes and try to facilitate them with the right kind of digital technological tools so that they can operate their business in that infrastructure with the maximum amount of capacity and innovation. And with that, they want to accelerate the transformation for different businesses, and they want to help the companies to prevent future disruptions. So today I'll be talking about a few of the case studies from Google itself, like how different companies are leveraging Google Cloud with regards to speed, scale, and agility. Like companies like Carrefour is leading the way to transformation the global supply chain from the field to the plate, right? So ultimately evolving the way customers shop nowadays and how consumer would get benefited and how people and society and planet would be benefited at the end of the day. We have seen that due to COVID, many of the aviation industry has fall short regarding resources, has been struggling with their budget and all. So then AirAsia was thinking to sort of use Google Cloud so that they can refine the pricing, they can increase their revenue and improve the customer experience. Likewise, other companies Mckesson, then Twitter migrated to GCP. They were adopting GCP because of their ad engagement analytical platform. So Google is integrating this all benefit all together for Twitter, which is why Twitter migrate to GCP to modernize their ad engagement analytics platform. Then Lush, one of the largest e-commerce brand in all over the globe, they are using Google Cloud Platform for improving their reliability and stability of their sites. So yeah, this is something very interesting about Google Cloud Platform. You get it all. Get the compute, you get the storage, you get the big data, machine learning stuff, and also very importantly, the pricing. The pricing comes per minute basis. And also Google Cloud has this interesting feature, which is live migration is possible in Google Cloud. So many of the companies who are very sensitive about this migration process, they can easily think of Google now. Google is offering this live migration um, uh, benefit as well. So now I have been working with this, this tech industry for 7+ years now. I have been working closely with different cloud platforms for 4+ years now. So whenever I'm approaching to different business owners, decision makers, so all I'm seeing, there are few factors which are actually is sort of a very pain point at their end when they're selecting a CSP, cloud service provider. So some of the criterias are very important when the business decision makers are thinking about their cloud transformation journey or adopting any sort of cloud technology. So I've seen them. They were counting on performances. They were thinking about data security and governance, which platform has the best. They were also very thoughtful about IT cost control. If they would be able to, after migration, whether they would be able to control the cost of their business, and what would be the outcome of the revenue of the business after they adopt cloud. Then technology and service roadmap. Some of the cases I've seen, most of the companies who are trying to adopt cloud technology, sometimes they might not have the clear idea themselves about the technology and service roadmap. It's not only their thought only. I would say the CSP also help them to understand it better. So they sort of play the role of a consultant at some point of times. So which is why CSP selection is very important for any business or any enterprises. Also, people think about tech support, what sort of support they would get from the CSP. They also think about strategic partnership and responsive customer services, which is really important. And I'm talking about Bangladesh perspective. Also, it also applies for global perspective too. Whenever I'm talking about any enterprises who are thinking to adopt cloud technology, what are the criteria they would think about if they're choosing their CSP? So, and then again, the domain and industry specific offerings. So if you are a CSP, suppose Brainstation is providing Google Cloud services, if they have the certain domain or industry specific offerings for their customers from different segments of the industry. So also the size and liveliness of the developer community. So suppose the company, if their developers are very good and also they belong to a community, because then they would be able to solve any problem very easily. So the community is another thing people actually consider these days a lot, and the lock-in risk. So these are some criteria for enterprises who are thinking to adopt cloud technology. And let me remind you that in Bangladesh, Brainstation is the one and only cloud service provider as of now yet licensed. And we have been working with Google Cloud for a very long time, and we are trying to actually fulfill all these criteria very well for our customers and enterprises that we are serving right now. So what are the rationale behind cloud technology implementation? Why companies want to implement cloud technology? So first of all, it's the operational efficiency they're looking for. It's the quality of services and reliability, which sometimes on-premises solutions cannot give you. Today, it's a era of multi-cloud or hybrid cloud sort of scenario going on. So it's the quality of services also, and reliability of the platform is also something that businesses are highly looking at these days. And also the security and risk reduction, whether the platform is providing me the right kind of security that I need. If you are from the fintech industry, it's highly required that your platform is very secure. It's not only fintech, it's actually all the companies who are working with customers' sensitive data. So it's important for them, and also the applications which are running uh, uh, is needed for a high security and restriction platform. So after that, what comes is how do you measure the success of your adaptation, right? How do you see that if your cloud adaptation was successful or not? So if you want to be successful, some of the criteria you have to fulfill not only as a business owner or enterprise business owner, also together with your CSP. You have to count whether you have defined your scope and goal well. Other than that, the cloud's success factor might not be looking very clear at your end. Also, you have to identify the value and you have to communicate it well, not only to your tech team, to your CSP, and what are the outcomes you are actually looking for. So the business translation is very important, and the coordination between different stakeholders is very important. Strong support from the IT function. What I'm saying is sometimes, companies do lack of, because most of the time, what happens if we have an in-house team, and if you are not a tech company, it's very obvious that your team might not be well acquainted with the latest upgrades or latest technology. It can happen. So if you are hiring a company who is solely tech service providing company, so then their resources would be able to help you or help your resources to sort of uh, get all the solutions done in a proper, efficient manner and a very faster manner. So, which is why it's very important that a strong support from the IT teams, not only your in-house, also your CSP, should jointly, do the work so that you have the success factor after you implement cloud. And also a clear governance should be there. External system integrator should be should be there. Clear operational lead has to be there. Strong support from business function is also another point. I'm seeing a lot of beeping. Okay, probably people joining. So now, what are the 5 principles for capturing cloud technology's full business value? I've already mentioned that you have to prioritize each initiative based on its unique monetary value. Suppose you are thinking to migrate to Google Cloud. You have to understand how you want to migrate it, right? You have to first um, understand what are the monetary value you are putting, and against it, what do you want as return, and then you have to plan accordingly. The migration can be phase by phase. If you're thinking about a very large scale migration, then it can be it can be from e-commerce, it can be from your legacy solutions to your new era cloud implementation. So you have to prioritize first what you want, and then implementation plan and change by business domain would be there. So you then have to transfer your insight, or your insight you have to communicate with your CSP, and what are the skills you are in need of in the organization. If you have already, or you are in need of the skill set from your CSP, you have to communicate that very early stage. And then after after the planning, it's mandatory that you have to shut down your legacy application and then adjust to cloud implementation with the according plan, and then develop an enterprise mindset of creating and scaling new digital solutions so that you can get the best out of cloud solutions. And now the question comes, how do you embark on a value generating cloud transformation journey? Also very simple. I have found out 8 key aspects of cloud transformation. These have cloud strategy. You have to build a business objective, constraint, what are the risk appetite you have, capability baselining, business cases model, and stuff. These are all theoretical a structure, but these are actually what we have to follow to get the best out of our implementation. So yeah, so in Bangladesh, we have been seeing a lot of hosting going on, migration in Google Cloud going on. I have seen ERPs on Google Cloud. I've seen app modernization. People are using Google Cloud. New app development, people are using Google Cloud because Google Cloud has always been this very developer savvy platform. So people who are using web application development, who are doing web application development, mobile application development, they are liking this Google Cloud platform because of this added advantage. And then nowadays, businesses are not doing well if they don't have any analytics or machine learning going behind them, because this is the new age. People want to have data before making any decision, any concrete decision. So, which is why analytics and machine learning is becoming very popular among different industries, right? And for them, Google is the ultimate go getting platform, right? And then people are also using for disaster recovery and archiving Google Cloud very much. So I would request who are joining this discussion to come up with your own set of questions, how you can engage your service team to assess Google Cloud readiness. I think Divya would be answering how you can do it with the team very easily. You don't need to charge right away. You don't need to pay right away. Rather, you try to assess if you're ready for Google Cloud or not, and then you take the discussion forward. So please feel free to reach out. And with this, I would like to sort of end my point of discussion which I was thinking to brought into this discussion. Thank you, everyone. If you have any question, feel free to ask, and I would now request Divya to take the platform. Thank you, Divya.
Hey, thank you, Farzana. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your presentation and especially talking about how what are the criterias when you're selecting a cloud service provider. Very important, very relevant. Because today, when people are taking this journey to adopt cloud, they always have this question: who should I go with, and what should be the criteria for adopting a cloud service provider? The second point that you brought in, which was very interesting, is that how Brainstation can help them when they're doing their adoption to cloud in terms of the services, or the initial glitches that you face when you are moving onto the cloud journey. I think these were two wonderful points that you brought about, and I think this should help a lot of customers to reach out to you all for any queries. So thank you so much, Farzana. uh, I will be presenting about more on Google Cloud, and as Farzana mentioned and Noor mentioned, that please feel free to put in your questions in the chat. Right now, based on Farzana's presentation, if you have any queries, do put it in the chat. It will help me to cover, or my colleague Vishwas, who is joined in as well, who works with Google Cloud and helps in providing industry solutions, will be there as well to support us on the call. And in case if we are not able to address some of your questions, we'll take note of it, and and we will come back to you with the answers. So let me try presenting my screen. Just give me a second, please. Sorry, it's my bad. I was on mute and my video was not there. Apologies. I am just presenting my screen. Let me know in case I am not audible. Okay. Are you able to see my screen? Yes.
Not yet, Divya.
Okay. Just give me a second, please.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Not yet.
Not really.
Okay. Noor, will you mind presenting your screen? I've shared my presentation with you.
Yeah, sure. I can definitely do it. Uh, but is that
Yeah.
would be helpful for you? I
Yeah,
mean, for
I
the
will. I'm
orders.
just trying. Yeah, I'm just trying once again.
Yeah,
Should-
sure.
Is it coming up?
Mhm.
Okay. Why is
Send
there
it
a
to me as
problem?
well. You can send it to me as well. I can play it for you.
Sure. It's on the chat for Zana.
Okay.
I've
Okay.
shared.
I got.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. So, welcome once again to this webinar by Brainstation and Google Cloud. And we look forward to have some fruitful discussion with all of you today. As I mentioned, that in your journey to adopt cloud, there are a lot of people who will work to support you, our partner, ourselves, our training team, and we have a lot of, I would say, free courses on Google Cloud. Feel free to leverage that. You can visit our website and you will have those free courses which are available, but we can very specifically also help sharing what are the learning sessions that are available for customers coming on this chat through Brainstation. Yeah, Farzana, we could move to the next slide, please. This is the last slide. So, yeah. These are some of the things that I'm going to cover. Yeah. So, is the slide visible to everyone else? I hope. So customers, very, very important for you all to understand why we are doing what we are doing. Uh, as an organization, Google's mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. And I know that everyone who is present on this call have used Google in some form or the other for some or the other services. And while this statement and mission sounds very simple, the ability and to garner people and resources at the back end is never easy to make this mission come full. So this is the mission with which we work, and our subsequent slides will cover on how we are doing it. So I'm sure all of you are aware that Google is known and needs no introduction when it comes to innovation. And these are some of our products which has more than one, each product has more than 1 billion users, which means more than 700,000 users, more than 1 billion user for each product. Search is something that we all know. Google started it in 1997, followed by an email for a concept called Gmail, which I think everyone today uses Gmail as a de facto standard, followed by Maps, and then YouTube, and then we have Android and other products that you can see, which is Play, Photos, Drive, and Chrome. These are the products which have been developed by Google and are used by a lot of users. And the beauty about all of these products are that they're powered by machine learning. So the amount of intelligence that you get out of these products are because there is something that is powering it, which is through our artificial intelligence and machine learning. Next slide, Farzana, please. And when we talk about innovation, we have worked innovation in real world situations. So today, I am sure each one of you are aware about it, that when you do search, yes, I think there is a noise. Yeah, thank you. So I'm sure all of you are aware that when you are talking about search, Google is the number one in the search ranking. Whenever you search for any items or objects or knowledge or information. However, we have also enabled it through speech, so you can do search through speech recognition as well. Whether you're looking at adopting any other solutions, you will find that Google uses a lot of intelligence through its different products and technologies that are being powered on our platform. So this slide basically is to cover that we use a lot of AI and ML, and we are focused on innovation to create different products. Next slide, Farzana. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you all is that while all of us are aware about the different products and services that Google uses, how do we really innovate? So whenever a problem is thrown at us, our approach is how do we apply 10x thinking to the problem, and which we call as moonshot thinking in Google Cloud, in Google vocabulary. And our objective is to ensure that any problem solution has to be 10x. That means how we can address by improving it 10x times, and which we call as moonshot thinking. And I'll cover this in subsequent slides. Farzana, I'm sorry, I'll have to keep asking for the next slide, please. And I like to play a small video of how innovation happens at Google. Maybe you have to switch on the volume, Farzana. There's no sound.
Just allow me one moment.
Yeah. And Nure, if you could help me of how I could share my screen, that would make my life easy.
Yeah, let me just figure it out, Divya, for you.
Yeah. You okay? You click on the volume button. It will help you play.
So Teams has this option for you can add.
Um, yeah, that's why we use Google Meet.
Ila, you know how it works? No,
It should be there, Abu. Write down
I
the
know
video.
from here. It should be there right in the video.
Yeah.
Just press the volume button next to the play button.
It's already there, but
It's
yet
already there, but
no
it's not.
sound.
Okay. If there's a problem, we'll play it at the end.
Okay, let's
No,
do that. Play.
yeah. Apologies, everyone. Okay.
The video is available on YouTube, so yeah, we can paste the link on the chat and everyone can have a look on this.
Possibility, Noor, for me to share the screen. I've gone to the open share tray and I'm trying to uh, desktop and window. I'm pressing that button. However, I'm still not able to share this.
I think it's because I'm sharing the screen. Just
Can you try? Yeah, because it will make my life a little more comfortable.
I've stopped sharing. Just
Okay.
try out and see if you can.
Are you able to see my screen now?
Not yet. No, Divya.
Sorry, we should have done a little recce. No worries. I'll go ahead with troubling you.
No, no trouble at my end. Okay.
Okay. So I think we have missed one slide. Can we go to the previous slide? Okay, okay, fine. We can go to the next slide. So, dear customer, one of the things, again, as a fact, which can help you understand how Google operates is that 90% of the internet users today are uh, reaching via Google, whether it is search or for shopping or for any applications. And especially, we have seen that when people are looking to make any kind of purchases, then 50%, 50, more than 57% of our consumers are doing their purchases through comparisons on Google. Next slide, Farzana. And we carry more than 25% of the world's internet traffic, which talks about the kind of reliability we have built in our platform and in different underlying infrastructure that needs to support the consumers. Next slide, Farzana. But today, what I want to focus on is what is Google Cloud and how we support our customers. I am sure that all of you understand that we do innovation. We have products which touches everybody's lives today through search, maps, Android, Gmail. And I appreciate that you understand that we have massive number of users on each of these products. But today, our focus is on helping enterprises and startups adopt the journey of digital transformation. And the matter of fact is that COVID has had a lot of impact in accelerating every company to adopt this journey of digital transformation. One of the things that we want to talk about is what is our mission and how do we help customers adopt this journey. So one is that when you want to go to cloud, as Farzana mentioned, what you need is to understand whether I have the best infrastructure, whether I have the right kind of platform, and if I am a company which is into, say, manufacturing, or I am a e-commerce, or I'm a, I'm into logistics, I'm into pharmaceutical, I'm into education. Do they have industry specific solutions, and do they have experts? So our mission is to help with all of these to our customers. And how do we do that? One is that when you want to grow your business, you need analytics. We give that as a service to you. You have data, we give that as a data management as a service, application platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. So probably what our subsequent slides will cover, yeah, thanks Farzana, is that why are businesses actually moving to Google Cloud? Number one, I've been in this industry, as Noor mentioned, for last 20 years. And I know for sure that buying infrastructure, buying hardware servers, buying routers of Cisco and switches, and buying storage boxes and security has never been easy. Because when you buy infrastructure, just give me a second. When you buy infrastructure, one, you're not aware of what kind of performance are you looking, because you're not aware about how much does your application will consume the infrastructure. So we buy infrastructure by over provisioning. By the time number of users increase, which is over a period of 2 to 3 years, we realize that the infrastructure has become, the technology is moving so fast that it is no longer able to serve the needs that the way we want, the way our business is growing. So you are stuck with that hardware for another 5 years. Number one. Number two, if you go to a hardware vendor and you would like to understand how they're going to service you, what is their downtime, what is their uptime? Say, for example, if there's a problem that you need more memory, are they going to supply you in 4 weeks or 6 weeks? How do you do that vendor management? Third, you're running your infrastructure within your premises. Your job is to run your business and not to run an IT company. How do you ensure that your infrastructure that you're running within your data center is up and running? Tomorrow, as we have seen, COVID happened. Sometimes we are not able to bring in resources to our offices to deliver services. The vendors hardware is not available because there are logistics issue. Farzana, something happened.
Yeah, we lost you for 10 seconds.
The presentation is not visible.
Presentation is not visible. Can everyone see the screen or not?
Well, I can see the screen.
Yeah, I can see the screen.
Oh, okay. Something happened to my screen then.
I'm
I saw a
afraid.
call coming. Can you double click and share, please? I'm seeing you, Farzana. I'm not able to see your screen.
Okay, everyone else can see the screen, I guess.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Uh, okay. I'm on slide number 2. Why are businesses moving to Google Cloud platform? So coming back to the same thing, and I worked with customers in different countries, and I've realized that everyone has an inertia initially to adopt cloud because of multiple fears about how am I going to have security, what about my reliability, uh, will i will I be able to deliver and perform on cloud infrastructure as I do it on prem. So these are some of the questions that we help you address through Google Cloud Platform. Our uptime of our infrastructure is 99.9%. So, reliability, scalability, and cost goes down. How does the cost go down? Obviously, it goes down because you do not have to buy hardware that you don't need at the time your business is still trying to scale. The second point why people are moving to cloud is to today data is considered as a new currency, as a is new oil, and is considered as the new gold. How do you ensure that you have insight from the data that is coming from different applications, whether it is your ERP, whether it is your website, whether it is your CRM? The third part is to build more new apps. I am 100% sure that each one of are using some or the other app. And as simple as app as I want delivery of medicine to my home, or as simple app as I want to book my air tickets or I want to book my hotel. Imagine if you go to an app and you don't find it user friendly. I'm sure in a second you will switch to a newer app. Google Cloud with its comprehensive suite of services will help you build new applications and experiences. The second part is the other part is that when you want to connect your applications to other merchants, if I am a hotel and a service, I'm a hotel industry, or if I'm a manufacturing company and I have SAP, but I also connect my vendors to my platform, my people who are my suppliers, people who are my end customers, or I have partners. If I have an e-commerce company or I have an application where I want my vendors to put in some prices, or I have e-commerce where I want to connect a travel company, a portal wants to connect to hotel guys or to airline industry. The most important thing is, am I able to connect these people? It may sound very simple, but imagine if we have to, it's like building highway of connectivity on your application. How do you do that? Google, with its years of experience, and us as being a startup in our own way who's become a large company, we understand what startups need. And then last but not the least, I think COVID has taught us a lot of lessons. One, that everything can be very disruptive and we have to be prepared for those disruptions. How do we make our teams productive when they are not able to reach physically into their offices? How are they able to access their applications through mobile devices? And Google Cloud helps you solve all of these five key issues through our platform and technology. Farzana, please move to the next slide if you have not. I'm seeing it through my presentation.
I have already moved to the
Okay.
next one.
So now what happens is that we are serving the customer worldwide customers, and to serve the customers worldwide we have to constantly expand. So currently this is our infrastructure. By the numbers, we have more than 29 regions, we have 88 zones, we have 146 edge locations and interconnect, which I am sure all of you present on this call are technical and understand that what does dedicated interconnect locations are. And to provide fast access to your content, we have 100 plus content delivery locations, and we have paired it ourselves with public ISPs to provide better performance. The next slide, please. This slide was very important, which talked about infrastructure by numbers, was because we want to assure that we are growing. Number one, we know that the customers' demands are growing. So, to ensure that we have uh, infrastructure which can scale and perform and deliver at the same time, we are constantly building, I would say, inventory of our technology and services. The second slide, Farzana, you moved on to the next slide.
Yes.
Okay, so now you would wonder, and one of the things that Farzana covered in her presentation is that If I adopt Google Cloud, do I get stuck to it? I've had some customers who have asked me questions: what happens after 3 years? Does your pricing increase? What if I get locked onto Google Cloud? But as you must be knowing that it's established public news that we are a leader in open source. And what does that mean to all of you on the call? Is that today, if you're on Google Cloud, number one, it's easy for you to adopt technologies of different people onto your cloud infrastructure. Number two, which means that if you're looking at integrating some third party solutions, how can you do that? Number two is that tomorrow, if you want to migrate out of Google Cloud, how easy it is. And number three, all the reasons that I mentioned in my slide, where why you want to adopt cloud, which is application development, integrating third party, moving, having running applications like SAP, you can do it on a platform because we have number of open source solutions that serves a customer, and our open source like Kubernetes, which is helping, it helps you to deploy, manage, and scale containerized applications. We've given it to other cloud service providers to adopt. So it was found by Google, but AWS and Azure adopts it as well. Next slide, please. And what are the four pillars of our transformation for business? Number one, you can either start with app modern, how you want to modernize your application, uh, you know by changing, by writing codes that are easy to deploy, uh, which needs less effort to develop an application, less codes. When you have bugs in your application, how that can easily detect, how you can upgrade your applications without taking downtime. And there was a time when people used to say, we have a downtime of your application, will not be available. Those things don't work when you're working with 24 by 7 in serving your customers. So we can help you with application modernization, infrastructure modernization. So whether it is SAP, VMware, Windows, Oracle, or any other workloads, you can do that. Smart analytics by our different AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We have solutions like BigQuery. These are Google solutions, and you might not have heard these words. So Google's analytics solution, data warehouse solution is called BigQuery, and our analytics, where you can look at data from different perspective and analyze the data, we call it as Looker. And then we have artificial intelligence and machine learning through a platform called AI platform. Next slide, please.
Yeah.
So this is a subset of what I have been speaking in terms of what are the advantages. So if you are looking at application modernization, what are the advantages that will come to you? Whether it is ROI, which improves by 4.8 times, to 75% in increase in the benefits if you're doing application migration and modernization on Google Cloud, in productivity, in your time to market because you can develop applications faster, and 38% reduction in non-coding activities, and overall your operational improvement happens by 55%. Second slide, please. Next slide. So now, as I think one of the points again Farzana mentioned, that if you are looking to migrate, what are your challenges? Do you have to take downtime? No, you can do live migration, so you have no planned downtime. You can create custom machines. Until now, if you have to move to cloud, they give you standard what we call as t-shirt size. We have small, medium, large. You cannot go and customize your t-shirts. So similarly on infrastructure, you have no way you can customize your machine. With Google Cloud, you can actually customize your machines, and you don't have to over provision. And third is, if you don't know the sizing, our app specific sizing recommender, which is powered by artificial intelligence and machine learning, will recommend that to you. If you're doing migration, if you have issues, you can migrate back onto your platform again without losing a single byte. Plus, because we charge you per second billing, you will find that our cost efficiency is much higher. And there is a document which is again not by Google but globally. It's an open source document available on the net, where it mentions that Google Cloud is 30% lower as compared to any other cloud service provider. Next slide, please. So now you have identified that, yes, I need to do my application modernization, infrastructure modernization. Your journey can start with anything, whether it is infra or app. After you've landed yourself, you need to know how I can use analytics to identify what kind of new products I have to create, what markets do I need to cover, how are my users behaving when they are coming on my application, or how are my internal users are behaving when they are coming onto my platform. But if you have to do it on prem, you have to buy expensive licenses, you have to hire bunch of people who can understand your understand different tools and technologies. With Google Cloud, you can eliminate all of those factors because everything is given to you as a service, and you have experts who can provide you do that, and tools that can help you provide do that through a product called BigQuery, which has a built-in machine learning solution. Next slide, please. And after you provided your analytics solution and you want to run AI and ML capabilities, you can do that through our open source platform called Vertex AI. And you can, when you have to run huge amount of data, we have Google TPUs, which are 15 to 30x faster than contemporary processing units and CPUs. So again, that's a feature that you can use. Next slide, please. And I'm sure most of you will have this concern that how am I secured? So Google has a culture of security. So whether it is ensuring that there are right procedures put in, there is security, the hardware that we where you host is in-house, built by Google. The coding and the hard code that we do to ensure that it is least vulnerable to any kind of threats is done by us. But the most important thing is that our infrastructure, whenever you are putting your data on our infrastructure, it is encrypted at rest, and when it is moving from one place to another, it is encrypted. So complete level of security, whether on our premises or when it is moving from one place to another. And even our and as you know that we have undersea cables, Google has put its own undersea cables, and it is even resistant to any shark attacks, so that at any point you don't have any downtime. um, we can skip this slide, defense in depth at scale, Trisha, because I have covered that. And we can move to the slide greening of IT, which is again a very important thing today. We are living in an environment where we are all facing the issues related to pollution and plastic usage. And we all want to see how we can live in a world which is greener, we have less of health issues, and we are uh, Google operates the cleanest cloud in the industry. So you know that when you're working with us, we are also protecting the environment. And next slide, please. So we are not just a cloud provider, and I think my slides have more than a time harped the fact that we are also a vast technology ecosystem provider. So from our leadership in security, networking, and infrastructure, providing hybrid and multi-cloud solutions to enable choice, to open source, to data and analytics, plus our partner ecosystem, which I cannot discount at in the least. But we work with the best partners in every region who have skill sets to support you in your journey to adopt cloud, like Brainstation. So we are not just as I said, we are a technology ecosystem. And we can move to the next slide, Farzana. And every leading company today trusts Google Cloud, whether it is retail companies or biotech and pharma companies, whether it is financial companies, entertainment companies, to e-commerce companies. And with this, I like to end my presentation, and look forward to working with all of you. Over to you, Farzana.
Thank you so much, Divya. I think this has been a very wonderful, journey for all of us, not only as a partner, also the, the customers and other enthusiasts who are joining us today. I think it's been a learning, not only how the platform actually works, what are the, components it has to sustain us for our business for a longer period of time. And not only, it's a win-win situation for both of us. It's the, business owners as well as the, solution providers like Brainstation. And of course, Google is also there. So thank you so much, Diva. That was really a wonderful explanation of Google Cloud Platform. No one would have done it better, obviously. And I would now like to request for the case study. Divya, would you like to introduce?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
thank you, Farzana. Thank you, Noor. I'd like to present my colleague, Vishwas, who works with different industry in the SAARC region, and supports customers when they are looking for industry specific solutions. I have requested him to present some of the case studies so that you all are aware, because we all learn from our peers, we learn from each other, and we learn from how other customers are using it. So over to you, Vishwas. Vishwas, you are
Thanks,
on mute.
Divya.
Yeah, thank you.
So can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Great. So, quick intro. I basically take care of, I lead the sales effort for Sri Lanka, but quickly stepping in for Dia. And okay, the idea of this customer stories is, to just give you, I'm going to cover different use cases as such. So it gives you an idea of what are the kind of companies that, prefer Google Cloud, and also different, I'll also touch upon a few products as we go. So the first company I've taken here is called Wafer. This is one of, this company is based out of Boston, US, and it is one of the largest e-commerce companies there. And they sell furnitures, right, online. Now, the most important point as to why they choose Google Cloud here is because of speed, reliability, and performance. See, imagine an e-commerce company in Bangladesh, right, and you have festival season, and in the festival season, you get a lot of hits on these e-commerce sites. Will those infrastructure be able to scale up? And if at all they're scaling, how long does it take? In today's world, consumers do not wait for more than 5 to 10 seconds on any e-commerce site. The moment you realize that they are waiting for more than 10 seconds, they're going to switch on to the competing cloud or so on. So it's very important, not just about scalability, but to scale with reliability and with that kind of an assurance. And Wayfair chose Google Cloud exactly for the same reason. So speed, reliability, and performance. And now when you talk about the kind of peak shopping moments, we are talking about in huge scales. Here it is about, we're talking about like 2 drastically
Mhm.
reduce the speed by about 5 to 10%. It's fine. Sorry,
No, it's okay. I
someone said
We
something.
think we lost you for 1 to 3 seconds. Yeah.
Oh,
No
can you hear
worries.
me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay,
Please.
okay, great. So, Wayfair basically, after moving to Google Cloud, they were able to reduce or increase the speed by about 50%. Now, 50% is a huge number. I mean, these are not just theoretical claims, but you can actually, these claims are actually measured against our competing platforms. So, 50% is a huge number, and of course, there is definitely a reduction in cost by about 30 to 40% when they move. Moving on to another company called Lush. I think even you also touched upon your slides, right? Puneet? So Lush is a UK-based company, again an e-commerce, and they sell handmade cosmetics. Now they moved from AWS to Google Cloud in just 22 days. And the reason they moved is again for the same reason, is because of, one is of course the cost. They straight away saved about 50% in the total IT costs, bringing from 120K to 60K. And about speed. Now, Lush also had a similar problem, because they were close to about they during any like a in case of an event like a Boxing Day or a festival, they were like they had to handle about close to 22 transactions per second. Now, when I say a transaction, it is not just about displaying your static pages on an e-commerce site, but actually going through, selecting a product, adding it to the cart, and then making the payment go through. Now, imagine 22 transactions per second. Now, that needs quite a bit of amount of infra that needs to be scaled. Now, this is a classic example of how Google Cloud is much better than AWS, because they moved from AWS to GCP, especially for the same reason. Okay, now moving on to another example. So Albertsons is again an US based company. They sell groceries, pharma products. And now, when during the time of COVID, they realized, there were a lot of calls coming from the customer to their customer support. And because the customer support, they were in this phase of moving out from whether, and still adapting to this work from home culture and so on. And that is exactly the time they reached out to us, and they said, look, our customer support, we are not able to give the customer support to our consumers, because one, half of them are not turning up to the office, and now they are still trying to adapt to the hybrid environment. And we brought in a product called contact center AI. Now, what this does is, imagine you have hundreds of users live agent. How does a customer call center work? You dial up a number, or you use a chat interface to reach out to one of their persons, and you have to wait for hours together. And once you make a connection, you have your routine questions, and your questions get answered. Now, imagine all of these actually doing it virtually using a chatbot. Now, it is not just a simple chatbot like any other, you might have used a chatbot before, but this is a conversational UI. What that means is it has the ability to make a conversation almost like a human. So that means, your basic questions that you ask the first few phase basically gets answered right away. And then if the question is not answered for any reason, it knows that it can detect that, okay, this is the question that I cannot answer, and it transfers it to a live agent. That means a live human. And then once it does the transfer, it also gives the context of the consumers and the chat that has been so far to the live agent, and the live agent can continue answering these questions. Now, during the entire call and after the call, there is a sentiment analysis that takes place. And the sentiment of the consumer is measured using the way in which he responds. Is there a positive sentiment? Is there a negative sentiment, or a neutral sentiment? So this sentiment analysis happens over the call, and at the end of the call, it throws out, okay, this customer, you can say, actually measure, okay, this customer was pretty happy. I mean, it does not ask the customer directly, but the phrases that the customer uses during the call, it analyzes those and gives you. So Albertsons used contact center AI and literally handled a lot of calls which were ideally were going to their support. So now, not just for support, you can use it for your support or pre-sales or internal vendor. You can use this conversational AI any way you want. Next, now Blue Apron. Now this is another company which is again based out of New York. Now what they do is they actually deliver a healthy meal. Now, no, they used BigQuery here. Now the reason why is, I mean, think of this. Now Blue Apron, if any consumer goes and registers himself on a Blue Apron, now they have to provide like what are their preferences over a meal. Now I'm allergic to milk. I'm allergic to certain products, or I prefer vegetarian, I prefer non-vegetarian, I do not eat vegetarian on certain days, I would like to have rich proteins, or a rich or low carb diet. All of these for you know thousands and thousands of customers, all of this data is there with Apron. And then Blue Apron customizes a meal for this particular customer. And now imagine there's plenty of data here. Now you are trying to figure out to analyze all of these data coming from different sources. And they came to Google Cloud, especially for the reason because of running their queries faster. They ran Now today they're able to run close to 300 queries a day, I mean, depending upon the scale in which they go. And our BigQuery is a product which this can scale up to petabytes. So you don't really need to worry about the data that is coming in at all. It can scale up to petabytes, and your queries can run phenomenally fast. Now, this combined with Looker is a tool again for kind of a BI tool which can actually help the customer or the employees who are there to actually take decisions or their own. Now, not just the decisions should not be taken only from by a few people in the organization or just the top management. Now, we believe in democratizing decision making, means that decision making should be taken from right from the top till the bottoms and to whatever capacity that each employee has or own, right? So they use a product called Looker, wherein it gives them the data and insights for all of these decision making. Now, Blue Apron did that perfectly, and they're able to see results, and they were able to save a lot of team months of work. Next, iGazzini. Now, this is a company which is based out of Italy and one of the largest manufacturer of lights. Now, if you just go check out their website, you can see that they literally almost every new light or the modern light system and the IoT with them are all manufactured by iGazzini. Now, this is a case study of SAP. Now, they had their SAP running on premise, and they moved to Google Cloud because of scalability, right? I mean, imagine, if you're stuck with the hardware, as Divya mentioned in her example. You imagine stuck with the hardware for quite some time, and given the fact that every 6 months, hardware gets outdated because of the rate in which the innovation is moving them to the cloud made a lot more sense. Now they need not they did not worry about scalability at all. I mean, they could handle multiple vendors. As the workload increases, automatically it scales up. Along with this, they combined with our Google Workspace. Right now, together with their infrastructure modernization, as well as G Suite or GWS, that's called Google Workspace, they were able to create a completely integrated system together for their employees and their vendors. Now, another use case is Herfi. Herfi is based out of Saudi Arabia, one of the largest food chain. Now, again, an SAP customer. Now, SAP, now they moved to Google Cloud because of, again, the same performance, reduced time. And now they just did not stop at just moving the infrastructure. They combined their data with BigQuery. Now, BigQuery can accept data from multiple sources. So one source is, of course, SAP. The other sources, now in this case, they use their POS data, which is point of sale data. Now, once they do this, now you can imagine the amount of insights that you can get when you get from data. I mean, this is the whole truth. Otherwise, if you're just looking at SAP data, you only probably know operational data. Now, if you get the data from POS, right, or different any other sources, you will get the complete truth of your consumers and not just be limited by the data that you already capture on SAP. And BigQuery is such one tool. So as I said, as I mentioned in my previous example of iGazzini and Herfi, you can, when you have a SAP workload, think of three things. One is infrastructure modernization. Two is combining BigQuery and analytics with it. And three, Google Workspace. Now, all three combined adds a lot of value to operations, to customers, as well as helps you to innovate and collaborate. Now, another example, slightly moving now to a fintech based company. Airwallex is fintech. Now, any fintech now, Airwallex is a classic example of going global. Now, imagine a company in Bangladesh who wants to go global. How do you evaluate vendors? Now, when you go global, right, there is a lot of compliance and regulatory issues, especially because it is a fintech company. Now, Google provides compliance across different continents in terms of SOC 1, SOC 2 compliance, in terms of if it is Europe GDPR, or if it is US FedRAM, or if you just want data, if it's a PCI DSS compliance. Now, all of these compliance have to be there for any company to go, and so that you don't have to really worry about, okay, what do I need to do for this particular country? How do I manage the regulatory compliance for this particular? So you don't have to really worry about it because we have it all covered. So all that you need to do is just jump in and show. That's one of the reasons why Airwallex moved to Google Cloud for compliance. The second reason that they moved is now Airwallex, they make this international transactions, means that, okay, you can transfer money from US to Bangladesh or to US to India or anywhere. So they have this global transaction. When you're trying to do a global transaction, uh, no, the latency is extremely important. The latency. So we our database service run a database and our Kubernetes runs across global with extremely high performance, and our network is so fast with reduced latency. They were able to easily manage. So two key reasons: lower latency and global compliance. This was Airwallex. This is one of my last cases. This is a company based out of US, one of called Experian. Now they are the one of the largest credit scoring companies in the world. Now what does a credit scoring company do typically, right? They understand the consumer behavior. Now whether it could be your previous loans or it could be your previous banking transaction. How many loans have you taken? Are you paying these loans properly or not? Are you paying them on time? Now all of these, they have to analyze a lot of data, and then they'll come up with a score. Now imagine, now this experience provides our link to multiple banks, multiple financial institutions to come up with this credit score, do a lot of data analysis. Now here, this is the case. One is the case of BigQuery. This is the case of Apigee. Apigee, what they did is they used, now when you have to combine, when you have to bring in data using, and you have to interact with different systems because there are different banks, different technologies coming into play, API is the way to go. Apigee is an API platform wherein you can develop, create, manage APIs as well as monetize it, and you will be able to know the performance of each API. Now imagine, okay, you can say, okay, bank HS, we are getting a lot of requests from HSBC Bank. Now the performance, you don't have to really know just by the website, but you can actually know the performance of the API at an API level, which is basically at a developer level, where you can see, okay, I'm getting a lot of hits from HSBC. I need to know what should my response time be. Now, Apigee, if you're looking at modernization, if you're running at any older traditional systems, and if you're looking at modernization, moving away from a monolithic architecture to a microservices architecture, API becomes the heart of it. Now, Apigee is Google's platform in order to enable this. Now, Experian used Apigee, and they were able to, were able to create this scores, were able to easily integrate with multiple banks and so on. So, well, that is, I mean, I hope I was able to convey different products. So thank you so much for listening me out. Thank you for your patience. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Vishwash. I think it was really wonderful. You have covered almost the major industry segments that people are actually have most query about. So thank you so much for sharing all the case studies and highlighting those part why actually these companies choose Google Cloud for their platforms and applications. So thank you so much once again, and it's been a pleasure to have you with us for this discussion. So
Thank
now.
you.
I think we can move to the next part and most exciting part of our today's discussion. Apart from the really new things and items that we have learned, we have arranged a very small quiz competition for the attendees today. So it's gonna be live soon. Just I'm gonna share the link
Farzana Tisha, we can't hear you. You are actually on mute.
Sorry. Yeah. So I was saying that I'm going to share the quiz link to participate. Please enter with your name and contact number because based on your name and contact number will say who has won in this competition. The top three winners would get exciting gifts from Brainstation and we'll mail it to you if we can't reach out to you today directly, but yeah, the box would be delivered to your end after this quiz. So once you all are signed in, I would be running the quiz. It's not a very like you know so I see already 9-10 participants are joining. It would be a very short and sweet quiz competition. No jargons would be there. Very simple questions to answer. And The 5 questions are basically from today's discussion. So whoever has attended it, has sincerely, listened to all the conversations, I think they would be able to get it very quickly. I see 15 people are already in the, uh, has already joined. I would start the quiz. Anyone else left who want to join? Okay, then I'm gonna start the quiz. Let's start. So for each question, you would get 40 seconds. After 40 seconds, I'll move to the next one. And after 40 seconds, I'll move to the next one. So like this, 5 questions. It won't take more than 3 minutes to end today's quiz competition. And afterwards, I will show the leaderboard. First question about to finish soon. Okay, the next one. Next question is there. The second question is already the play, I see. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Second question is done. Quickly showing the correct answer. And then the next question, third question. Okay. Okay, done with the third one. Now the fourth one.
Seems like we are about to get our lucky winners.
Very well. Yeah. So the fourth one is going on. After finishing the question, so okay, I hope you have entered with your name and mobile number. Correct answer is showing. And the last question. Good luck, everyone. And we are done. Yeah, let me show you the leaderboard. I think you will be very excited to know who has won today's. So yeah, I can see the maximum number. Hassan Bhai, a big clap for you. Can I have your name and your mobile phone number and which company you belong, please? And then we have MD Meherullah Bhai. He has also completed this quiz. The fastest and the most um, number he Good score. So yeah, and then Sharif Rifat Bhai. So these three are our lucky winners. Just feel free to drop your name and your mobile number into the chat box so that we can send you the prizes. Thank you so much. I think with this, we want to end our today's webinar. And thank you all for joining. Before we leave, let's take a group photo. I think Divya is here with us and Vishwas is here with us and would never miss a good photo with them. If it was in person, it would have been even better. But yeah, since COVID and other things, let's make it
Yeah,
happen over
sure,
virtual.
sure. Thank you.
Congratulations once again, our top three winners. Very happy to see you made it. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah. Who's gonna take the photo? Pratik, you can do that, or I can do that as well. Have
Okay,
we all?
everyone else on the call can, share your video so that it will
Yeah.
be a great
Feel
photo.
free. No need to shy out of this an opportunity. It doesn't really matter. Mane, you look good already, so don't bother. Thank you.
Okay, we have only 5 minutes left. So, Tishapu, I guess you can take the photo and
Yeah.
then
Taking
we
the
can.
First, really appreciate you guys could join and make it happen. And thank you once again, everyone, for I've learned a lot. I'm gonna share the video uh, right after this, webinar. We're gonna process it and share it to you for email, and also we'll be able to.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Farzana, Noor. Thank you, everyone who attended this. It was a great session, and we look forward to working with all of you. Thank you so much.
And
Thank
also,
you.
Thanks,
even
Divya.
if
Thank
I've
you.
missed
Thank
any
Yeah.
you.
question,
Thanks a lot.
feel free to drop us an email. I'm gonna share my email address as well. Thank you. You have a good day, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, bye, everyone. And don't forget to follow.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye, bye, everyone. Have a very good day.